Well, I mean, I think for a lot of coaches, they've been doing this for a long time, and mental health and mental skills, it hasn't been really a focus. I think now more than ever, professional clubs, clubs and, competitive clubs are starting to get the idea that mental skills, conditioning, how we learn is different for different players. And you can't just have like this one stick approach where you're like, hey, my way, the highway necessarily. To be able to get the best out of everything, I think guys like Phil Jackson have brought in, mental skills into their teams. They win championships. Michael Jordan would say all the time, there's even Dennis Rodman would say, oh man, we have to have this mental skills. We have to do meditation. We have to do these things. And they were all upset about it at the beginning. Right. And then all of a sudden they're like, okay, I guess this stuff works, And I think, Simone Biles, when she pulls out of the Olympic competition because of mental health, I think all of these things are starting to make the conversation a little easier where, we're looking at kids that are dropping out, the attrition rate for women in sports is really high, especially for soccer. The likelihood you have this huge number of female athletes, female soccer players at 8, 9, 10, 11 years old. But by 16, 17, 18 years old, those numbers are dwindled. Almost 50% stop playing. But why? Why is that happening? I think in high school, like you're saying, I think we have a lot of coaches that have been around for a long time, and they're starting to embrace that. I think a lot of professional teams that are coming in, they're starting to embrace that. We have a lot of parent coaches. I think coaches who have been at the higher level, who've played at the higher level, who've been around in clubs that have mental skill coaches or sports psychologists, they want to incorporate those things, and maybe and it's more accessible too. I think the conversation of mental health, and that's why I appreciate you guys bringing me on, especially this month with mental health awareness. I think understanding that kids sometimes, their performance is not necessarily just because they don't want it. It's because their mind is in a different place. They're dealing with some other stuff. They're dealing with what's happening at home. They're dealing with, and all that takes energy. Their emotional side of it takes energy. And sometimes they come out as a 13-year-old and they don't play very well, right? And then as coaches, we look at that and it seems like laziness. It seems like they don't care. It seems like they don't want it. And oftentimes we just berate them like, dude, you don't want it. You don't care about your team. You don't want to this and that. And the reality is that they care so much about their team, that they're going through so much at home, that they still showed up. And what did they get? They got a coach telling them that they don't care, that they're not good enough. And all they really wanted to be around their friends and play a sport to be able to escape what's going on at home. So I think coaches really need to be aware. And I think, when I read about and I hear, these other professional athletes talk about mental health, one of the things they talk about is checking in with your athlete. Just ask them how they're doing today. Give that before you get into them, before you say this and that. We talk about, I give most of my athletes when we work with them, I give them about 15 minutes to decompress and talk to each other when they get there. Let them have that time. And then when it's time to train, say, are you guys ready to train? Are you ready to leave everything else that's outside the field, and now just focus on what's inside the field? Because you can't really do anything outside the field when you start training anyway. So we can leave all those thoughts, we can leave all those emotions outside, and we can deal with them when we're done. And that gives them a chance to say, okay, great, I can focus on what's going to be here, and move forward. But I do think coaches, even at a younger age, they could be doing something. It seems as simple, it's simple as, hey, you broke up with your boyfriend or girlfriend. And for us, we're like, coaches, get over it. Yeah, but emotionally, that takes energy. So when they're not playing really well, if you have an athlete that's playing great all the time and has energy and is fun and bubbling, and all of a sudden they come up to practice one day and they're just quiet, they're playing, they're making tons of mistakes. Instead of the first reaction is to freaking try to motivate them through like criticism and try to push them like, hey, you're not doing good enough. Hey, Joey's beating you, whatever. I would say that the best thing we could do is check in with them. Pull them aside. Add the things over. They're not making a big deal of it. Just pull them aside. Say, hey, is everything all right? One of the other things that does is it just builds a relationship with your athlete, saying that I care. As a coach, I care. I want to win. But I also care about you. I care about you. And then you think that athlete's going to do, man. That athlete's going to fight for anything for you because he knows you care. It's not just, another cog in the wheel. Jose, man, appreciate it. Yeah, I'd love to come back. I appreciate, again, like I said, having me on, and especially this month. I just encourage coaches, parents, check in with their athletes. And like I said, little plug for me. I do have you can search Alan Fortune on Amazon. I do have this book, Fact Formula: Taming Fear and Growing Confidence. I'm sending one out to Jose so he can check it out, let you guys all know. But it is for you as parents and players, for those young athletes. I really encourage you to check it out, and reach out. Go on to Instagram, Facebook, whatever. Find me. If you have questions, be happy to try to answer them. Yep, Alan Fortune. You'll find the book in there, and it's on Amazon. It's also on Kindle. It's a lot cheaper if you guys have Kindle. You can do it. But if you're in the area, trust me. I'd love to be able to come out, talk to your team, maybe talk to your club. I'm supposed to be next week. Going to be out. I'm on staff with Fresno Fuego, and so I'll be out with them next week. And hopefully, as long as we can, their schedule's kind of crazy, so I'm trying to figure that out. But yeah, if that's there, any sport, all those things. If you guys want me to come out and do a little quick work with the team, clubs, coaches, all that, I'm happy to do it. Appreciate the opportunity. Yep. Talk to you soon. Thanks, Jose. Have a great day.